This is our Proof Bread downtown Phoenix location. We're here on the corner of 3rd Avenue and Roosevelt. This is our newest location here at Proof Bread. It's our fourth brick and mortar. So what we're walking up to right now is our patio spacing. It kind of spans across the entire front of our location here. This is inside of Proof Bread downtown Phoenix. As you come inside of the space, you'll notice a couple of things. What's in front of us here is kind of the separation between the customer employee area and just essentially like where we have all of our seating and our customer facing space. It's a lot of busy mornings for sure. I think people are just discovering our coffee. We're partnered with Press, so it's been a really cool side adventure for Proof Bread right now. This is the first location that we're doing that at. And as people come in, you know, like we're a sourdough bakery, so in the last few months, we've kind of gotten a huge uptick in people coming in and just every single morning grabbing their morning coffee. I mean, who can live without their coffee? But having regulars already, it really is an honor. One of the first things you're gonna notice when you come into Proof Bread is the variety and the amount of options that we have. A couple of the products that I always point people to are gonna be either the pain au chocolat or the morning bun. Those are like two of my staple favorites of all time. And they're two pastries that we refer to as like a core pastry, which means that our menu can be rotating. There's a couple specials that will kind of have come in and come out, but we have this set of core pastries that are tried and true and are here all the time. So it's just that thing that you can count on getting when you come into a Proof Bread. There's going to be a sourdough croissant, pain au chocolat, chocolate chip cookie. We've got the morning bun, lemon curd Danish, almond croissant, and the salted rosemary twist. Those have been on our menu for more than the last year, and have been a really stable part about like what we've presented. But then that also gives us the ability to kind of like experiment and showcase some of like our fun side, if you will. Some of you might be familiar, we've done a couple different special pastries in the past, like the Boston cream, the croissant mise and things like that. This is just kind of like a way for us to like keep things new and fresh and then just get to experiment on our end. The special that we have for this month is the s'mores Danish, and we're actually working with two different local companies for that. We've got Toasted Mallow, which is one of the best marshmallows that I've literally ever had in my life. And then the chocolate is made by Embers Chocolate. It starts off as like the curd Danish shell itself, and then it's filled with that chocolate ganache from Embers Chocolate, and then topped with that toasted mallow, and it is just phenomenal. We do fresh pizza here, we do quiche Danishes, ham and cheese croissant and things like that. We're really open to like what the season brings. In this area, there's not a lot of options for fresh local bread in Phoenix in general, honestly, but especially a walkable area in Roosevelt like how we are is really awesome. The people in our neighboring communities can just walk and grab a fresh loaf of bread, grab a cup of coffee and a fresh baked pastry. And that's not something that we have here in Phoenix a lot, which has been really cool to kind of fill that niche. And the community feels it too. Everybody's kind of living their like European fantasy a little bit by going and getting their baguettes and stuff like that, but it's been cool. The response has been really cool from like the community. We've got the record player, we've got board games, we've got books for entertainment, books that have influenced kind of the philosophy behind what Proof does. And all of those are available to everybody to just come in and enjoy. We've got the kids area, kids space. Seeing our community come and actually use it has been the thing that's the most special, which is the model that we want to bring to all of our locations. I mean, we want to really have a space for our community in everywhere that we're building and everywhere that we're growing to. The small business community is really where it's at. I mean, I can call out a couple, like Novel Ice Cream was one that we've already had a pop-up with. They were super, super awesome. Like, I'm literally popping up the truck right outside our location. And then we had the banana split croissants, which was super awesome. Just the camaraderie between like just all of the small businesses in this area has been really special. First and Last is right across the street, Lola. And we've been met with such love. I mean, from just the city and from the other local businesses in this area and everything. Like it's been a huge surprise just to see the like support that everyone has come out in droves. And it's been really awesome to be out here and actually connect with the community. Roosevelt Action Association, Local Buzz, my man Tony, everyone that supported us throughout here, especially in getting this store open and especially on our grand open day. I mean, like I'd been doing pop-ups here for a couple months leading up to Proof Bread actually opening this location. And like just kind of seeing the culmination of that, getting to see all the faces that I'd met over the last 2 months of doing those show up and be excited about the space was really cool. It's what community's about. This is the first location that we have at Proof Bread where we're not actually physically baking here. And what that means is that we just get to utilize the space like to our advantage. Instead of having ovens and baking equipment everywhere, we can actually create a space for our community to come and enjoy. Had we been baking here, we wouldn't have really gotten to utilize this space how we are right now. And then I'm standing in our beautiful customer area that is, again, lined with outlets and just lined with seating and spaces for people to come and enjoy. So this front part, I've got all of our retail. We've got Proof Flour Mill. If you didn't know already, we are a fresh flour mill, so we mill our own flour, contract grow our own fields of wheat and things like that, which is super awesome. And you can find that at all of our locations, specifically this one here at downtown Phoenix is at the front here. As we kind of go back into the spaces where you'll start getting into where you can interact with some of the materials. We've got a bunch of records here that people can select from and just choose and enjoy. There's the game here that is literally one of my favorites, Shoot the Moon. And it's just like, having this here has been so much fun. But this is it, yeah, this is our customer-facing area. And then going this way again, you can see McKenna's kind of back there doing the coffee right now. It's just as narrow back there as it is here. It's just a straight shot back. What you see is the space that we have. So what we're able to kind of pull off here with such a small footprint is really cool. This is kind of like an extension of our retail as well. We partner with a lot of local people we've kind of met throughout the years. Jarvis Jam is a particular one that we've has been really popular in all of our locations and originated kind of in our Mesa location that we started using. When you think about bread, you think about getting like jams and jellies and things like that, but it makes it even more special when you're able to know that like the thing that I'm eating was made here in this state and, you know, is supporting the local area that like I am a part of, because we love craft. I mean, we're doing it here every day with the bread and the pastries, and getting to extend that out into other people and into what they're doing is really special. So every morning when we come to open the store at 6 a.m., our amazing delivery drivers who come overnight, they bake the product very late in the night, and then they bring it over to us. The amount of work that goes into getting it here is truly incredible. We have our pastry case here. All of these were fresh baked. We don't do carryover on any of our products for like the fresh breads and pastries and things like that. Some of them, like the sandwich loaf and the hamburger buns, we do. But when you're buying a pastry, a slice of pizza, a loaf of bread from Proof Bread, it's not something that we've, you know, from the day before and carried over into that day. Well, what we don't sell that day, we actually donate to our community through Waste Not, and just local partnerships, whether it's like fire department, Entree House is another really good one, and because we believe in, you know, not throwing away. Like, we have the opportunity to feed our community, we're going to feed our community. All of our other locations right now bake for themselves every single morning, so that difference between this Proof Bread and the other locations we have right now means that we really get to have an emphasis on our coffee program. And this is kind of like a flagship for what we're developing and what the future of Proof Bread looks like, really. This is our pastries. We've got our breads on top and kind of like extends out into this space as well. We've got this really cool like glass pastry case set up over here. It's a little blocked from the outside right now, but come fall, we'll actually have these garage windows up and open so that people can like come and walk up and order from us and also just enjoy the outside space. With this park right across from us be like such a special thing to like, I mean, just kind of draws you into the nature of what's going on in this little corridor street. So if you've not walked down this street before, it is truly worth it. Like, it is such a special place. And again, like we were mentioning, we do rent a picnic blanket. So come on over and rent a blanket, get some fresh bread. There's a lot of places that are in the works down in this area, and we're really hoping that this kind of continues to become a place where people can just walk down and get their groceries. We do sell flour here. Again, this is the fresh milled flour here from Proof Bread. We do this ourselves. What's really cool about this bag of flour that I'm actually holding in my hand is that it tells a story. And that story is reflected in our space here. So Rouge de Bordeaux was actually the first field of wheat that we had contract grown here in Phoenix last year. And that was in Queen Creek, not Phoenix. Again, just a really special flour for us because like it's a focus, it's a heritage grain. So it hails from the Bordeaux region of France in the 1800s, so it's got a history to it. And what we mean by heritage grain or ancient grain is just that it's not hybridized. It's not been altered, you know, to kind of create. Oftentimes wheat in America especially is hybridized to be shorter, to have a higher yield and whatnot, and all of those things can just kind of contribute to the fact that wheat can be really hard to digest for people. So Rouge de Bordeaux is super special because it's actually in every single one of our products right now. And again, the story that I was kind of talking about is like this field of wheat, like you can see this photo over here of John, our owner, in the field of wheat, like holding the actual berries. Like, so it's like you've got this moment of like the photo to the actual thing of flour itself, but then that's also brought into our space, into our decoration, because these are the actual wheat stalks from that field. So you can see that Rouge de Bordeaux, the wheat stalks, what is in this bag of flour is in every single one of our products that is behind this counter. So that like farm to table, like, I mean, it doesn't get any more farm to table than that. So Rouge de Bordeaux though is a really specific, like, it's a special flour to us because it's very versatile. It's got the perfect protein content for being a flour that you use in breads. And it's a red winter wheat, so it's got kind of a sharper flavor to it. So it just adds this like distinction of flavor. It adds nutrition, it adds fiber content, and just complexity. And again, grown right here in Queen Creek, Arizona. One of the other flours that is really near and dear to my heart specifically, I am a confectionery baker at home, so that means I just like making like cakes and muffins and banana breads and things like that. White Sonora is such a special flour. It's one of the only ones that we carry that has a really low protein content, which means that it's really good for anything that you want as like a tender bake. Not really ideal for like bread baking, right? You want higher protein. Protein is the gluten content inside of a bread, so the more protein that you have, the better gluten structure that you're getting out of a bread, which is why we turn to things like Coruscant, Rouge de Bordeaux with those higher protein content for our breads. But White Sonora, if you have never had White Sonora in your pancakes, in your banana bread, like, you gotta get onto the channel and check out some of these videos, because it is the flavor that this adds to your baked goods and the texture too. Fresh stone milled flour in what you're eating is like, I mean, it's game changing. Like, once you try it and once you start using these flours, like, you don't want to go back to, what you're doing before. You still use kind of a combination. That's the main thing that I tell people, is that stone milled flour acts very differently than the flour that you would grab off the shelf. So it's really important to understand that, like, you're not going to do a one-to-one swap out for the flour that you're using in your recipes. You really want to start with like 25 to 30% of your recipe, maybe even lower, as like a safe starting space, and then just kind of work it. Baking is a journey. Sourdough baking is a journey especially. And what that means is, like, you just have to be willing to jump in and to get your hands dirty. You are not going to have the result that you want every single time. Don't ever kind of let the like failures of baking stop you. If anything, you should let that be the thing that continues to drive you forward, because the day that you make the most phenomenal pancakes of your life is, I mean, it's a really special day. Last thing that people ask a lot is, what is the difference between the Coruscant and the country sourdough? We've got our sliced bread over here. You can see that we've got both of the varieties. And the honest truth is that these are two of our most versatile loaves. So in terms of use case, you really can use it for anything. Sandwiches, French toast, sweet, savory, like whatever you want to use it for. It's not really like pushing you into a niche. What's really cool about the difference of these breads is really in the flavor profile and in the texture. So Coruscant is made using a really cool technique. We scald the wheat. And this is kind of like a callback to like some milk breads and things like that, Japanese style. It just adds this texture and this fluffiness when you mix the grain itself with boiling water. It allows it to actually absorb more moisture. So it gives it this spongy texture and this quality that just like, it's very different than some of our other loaves. It's still bread, it's still incredible, but texturally it definitely has a spongier quality to it that is, I mean, it's phenomenal. And that also gives you a couple more days on the counter, which is super awesome. The country sourdough is like our flagship loaf. A lot of people get confused because it has sourdough in the name, and they're like, oh, like that's the only sourdough you have. But don't be fooled. Everything we have is sourdough. The country sourdough itself is just a little bit sharper in flavor. It's got like, again, it's made, Rouge de Bordeaux is kind of the primary flavor profile flour in that bread, so it's got these sharper notes to it. And yeah, that's kind of really the big difference between the two, is just in flavor profile and in texture. It's a really incredible space, and we want you guys to check it out. So come drop on by, check us out. Come early. We do tend to sell out of some items, so if you want to be guaranteed that you're going to get what you want and guaranteed the best selection, we open at 7 a.m. and it's the best time to come. It's also the freshest pastry that you can get. But yeah, no, keep an eye out on Proof Bread. We're doing some really cool things, and Eco Phoenix is not the last thing. We've got some really cool locations coming in the next couple of months, and similarly to how we've kind of used this space in special ways, we're going to be doing those ones as well. So keep an eye out.